Good morning, day 108. So I haven't done any produce shopping. I still have some produce that I want to use up. I did buy a cucumber for 99 cents when I went to Drug Mart the other day to get some potting soil. So I still have plenty for salads, which I'm going to use up. I still have plenty of celery and carrots, so I don't need any produce right now. But sometime within the next couple weeks, I will have to go get some produce. So anyway, my coffee pod here is not working too well. It's one of my refillable ones. I guess they wear out after a while too. I've already replaced the little band to it, but I'll have to investigate further. Anyway, I still have some planting to do. Sometimes the problem is when people, the nurseries or Walmart, any of these places put out their stock, it's way too early for around here to put it outside. So then you have to figure out all these things to keep them alive until it's time to plant outside. And if you don't buy the things early, everything's picked over, and then you can't get what you want. So usually around here, they start putting out the nursery stock the end of April, which is really too early because April here can still be pretty cold and pretty snowy. So then you have your little start sitting in the things, in the trays, and they just get leggy. So I don't know what the answer is. Either that or you have to grow your own. Even that, the timing has to be just right. But anyway, I have a lot of cleaning up to do. When I get into my gardening, everything else just goes to the wayside. So I have to put the gardening aside for a few days and just get caught up on what I need to do. So anyway, it's cold again here today, and this did not make much coffee. Oh well, I'll drink it anyway. So I'll be back in a little while with some breakfast, and we'll see what we have for day 108. Day 108. Okay, I have things that I want to cook down and get rid of. I have these little containers. I have some peppers here. These were from Olive Garden and they're still good, so I'm going to get those. I have some basil here. I'm going to use that. And I want to make a little breakfast pizza. So here I have this naan bread that I bought a while back. Let's see, I need some cheese. And I got this during my last produce haul. So once a month I like to do a produce and perishable haul, and that is eggs and cheese and mainly those sorts of things. And this is the cheese I got from Aldi's. This is what's left. So let's see, what else do I have? Still have some Mexican cheese, but I'm going to save that for a different dish. I have this little piece of avocado. Let's see. I have some olives. I have Kalamata olives. I think I'll put some of those on. And I also have some Spanish olives. Put some of those on. Okay, and I have a tomato over by the stove. So I will meet you at the stove. Right, well, I have all my things gathered. I have a little knife sharpener that I've had for years and years. And every 2-3 times that I use a knife, I sharpen my knives. Keeps them nice and sharp. And I do that about 10 times or so. But it's just a really nice way to keep your knife sharp. And these are not expensive knives. I've had them for a long time, and I have a lot of knives. So, okay, I forgot too, I have a little piece of homemade pepperoni, vegan, that I made a while back, and I have another one of these in the freezer. So, alright, let's make a pizza. Now this is garlic naan bread, and I like to keep this on hand. It freezes well, but I'm going to make a whole pizza rather than just half of one. And I still have a little piece left that I can use for a bun or a sandwich or something. But this comes in plain and I think whole wheat, but I like the garlic naan because I like garlic. So, okay. We'll do the smooth side. Alright, so I'm just going to, I don't have any tomato sauce open, and I don't want to open any right now. And I have this homemade pesto that I'm going to put on here. Now I don't remember what I put in here because it was frozen, but it's kind of on the thick side, so I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to it, just to thin it out a little bit. Not too much. Maybe half a teaspoon or so. But I have more of this frozen, and I want to use it up. Alright. And I think I could use a little bit more. I don't even remember what nuts I put in here. If I put, I just don't remember. It's been frozen in there for quite a while. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to spread some, and this would be good on pasta too. Whatever Italian dish you like. I don't want to put too much on. Just a thin coat, just for the flavor. And then instead of tomato sauce, I have this one last tomato that's getting soft, and I have the feeling that's going to have little baby tomatoes in it too. But, alright. So another thing I'm going to put on here is some pizza seasoning. And it's just store-bought pizza seasoning. Now, this is kind of salty, so I don't want to put too much. Alright, and then I'm going to cut up some of this. This is really hard, but salami and pepperoni and things do get really hard. So I'm just going to cut some of this up. I'll be back in a couple minutes once I get it cut up. Alright, so here I have all my toppings for my pizza. I cut up my tomato, and yes, it did have little babies in it again. So I have tomato, I have green olives, and these olives, and I have a little bit of this pepper that was left over. I have green onion and my homemade pepperoni. So that's all going on my pizza. Tomatoes going first. So I'm just going to put that on. And this is a pretty juicy tomato. So I hope it doesn't make the pizza soggy, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And since I don't have tomato sauce open, I do have tomato sauce in my stash, but I don't want to open it just for pizza. So that'll go on. Some of the olives. And I do like olives. I always keep olives on hand in the refrigerator. Either if company comes over with cheese, you put out a little bit of cheese and crackers and some olives. That always makes a nice snack. And then on their own, I don't like these peppers. They're a little too hot for me, but a little bit on a pizza is good. And those are the little peppers you get in the Olive Garden salad that I never eat. Okay, green onions going on, and my green onions have pretty much reached the end of their life, so I'm cutting up the whole onions now. And so that I can use those up. And then my pepperoni. And I have another piece of this pepperoni in my freezer. The reason this one got so hard is because I actually left it just open in the parchment paper in the refrigerator. And the refrigerator dried it out. So, okay, I'm going to put some, I don't have Parmesan cheese, but this is with Parmesan. It's from the Dollar Tree. I want to use this up, and it gives it a saltier taste. So that's going on. And then I'm going to put on this great value Italian style cheese. And I like a lot of cheese on my pizza. And it'll glue it all together. So I'm going to make this in my air fryer. I'll bake it on about, 375, 400 for maybe 10 minutes. And we'll see how it turns out. Okay, I'll be back when this is all done. So here is my naan bread pizza. It looks good. Hopefully it tastes good. You can put on here, of course, whatever you want. So I'll probably only eat half of this, and the other half I'll probably eat for dinner with a salad. And I still have some potato salad, a little bit I want to eat up. Just clean up my leftovers. Okay, there we have it. Naan bread pizza. me give it a taste. I'm sure it'll be good. I had this in the oven about 10 minutes, but if you like it crunchier, you can leave it in there longer. For me, this is good. All right, I'll be back later. I just got my little grow lights from the Amazon order that I put in, and I am very, very happy with it. It comes in this little tiny box, and it only has 3 pieces. It has this. It's got a screw here to tighten this up, and the tray. And it just so happens that I had ordered these, they didn't come together, and I want these for my grow wall in the kitchen when I put up my shelving, my open shelving. But I was very happy to find out that actually these all came together, and there's, the pots. 3 pots and 3 round pots, and they actually both fit on this grow thing. So I'm very happy about that, because then I could grow little plants in there too. So I have to look it up on Amazon how much these were. They were not very expensive, and they have 3 different settings, or 4. So they have 4 settings, and they have a timer that you can time it, and of course an on-off switch. Very simple, very lightweight, doesn't weigh much at all, which is perfect for my shelving. So I just wanted to share that with you. And so if you're looking for a grow light and you have a small space, this would even probably fit on a wider windowsill if you don't have a lot of light coming in on your window. So if you're interested in making a garden, this might be an alternative for you. These little pots that I got, they have wicks that you put in, and they have a reservoir with a gauge, so you don't constantly have to be watering either. And the same thing with the round pots. So any of you that are interested in indoor gardening, you might want to think about one of these. So I got these buckets at Walmart in the bakery department, and they sell them for $1. Now they have small ones and they have big ones, and they're all $1. So I got this one. I got some soybeans. I got 7 pounds of non-GMO soybeans from Amazon because I couldn't find them in the stores around here. So I just leave them in their container, and then I just put the lid on, because I'm not planning on storing these for 10 years, 25 years. I just plan on storing these for maybe 3 or 4 years, so that I have a constant stash in my basement. If something were to happen, maybe medically to me where I couldn't get out, or some other weather disaster, you never know. So at least I would have some food available, and they snap shut. And you might want to stick some oxygen absorbers in there. But that's the way I store my food. I don't store them in Mylar bags. I don't have any. Gets to be expensive if you do too much. So I just want to use these things up and replace them. So that's the way I work my stash. I have certain things that I stock up on, and then though I use those things, and then as I use them, I replace them with a new, fresher product. So, like I said, it's not my goal to store food for, you know, even 5, 10 years. It's just my goal to store food that I can eat up, and rotate so that I have food in the house in case some disaster befalls. So I just wanted to show you these buckets. They're very nice. Of course, they're food grade. They come from the bakery. Very cheap. You can use them also to garden, drill holes in them, and you have a bucket garden. All right, I just wanted to share that with you. Well, I've been doing a lot of thinking. I think a lot. It doesn't always make sense, but I think a lot. So, my mom is very elderly. She's going to be 93 this month. And I'm trying to learn from her what works as you got older and what doesn't work as you get older. So my mom and dad bought a house years and years ago, and they've lived in there forever. My mother still lives in there. It's a good size house. It's not a little tiny house. And she's starting to have trouble taking care of it. Well, I've already started to have trouble taking care of some of my things. So she was talking the other day about selling off some of her furniture. And I thought, well, that's probably a good idea, but at 93, she's not going to be able to sell off her furniture. That's just not going to happen. So then, of course, I started thinking about my own situation. So do I want to wait? If I'm blessed enough to live to 93, do I want to wait that long to sell off some of my furniture? Now, I probably will not be moving from this house. I built this house with the thought in mind that I would stay here in my retirement and as long as I could. However, all the things that I have in my house are a lot of things that I don't use. I very rarely use my dining room anymore. When family comes over, we congregate in the kitchen, and nobody uses my dining room table. I don't use the dishes that are in my dining room anymore. We eat off of paper plates. I cook on things that are disposable that I can throw away. I know that's not very green, but it helps me out a lot. And I like doing that because it gives me more time to spend with my family and less time cleaning things up. And we don't have functions that often, so I really don't think it's a bad thing. But I was thinking about maybe I should get rid of all those dishes. I have a lot of glassware, all things that I enjoyed using when I was younger and I used to entertain, and I would set a nice table. I just don't have interest in doing that anymore. I have more interest in just spending the time with my family. A lot of my friends don't really, I don't know, a lot of people as they get older, they just don't congregate like they used to when they were a group of young people. I guess we kind of get comfortable in our own home, and so that's what we do. We just kind of hang out with our family and a few close friends. So I won't be having big dinner parties with friends anymore, because I don't want to. Not because of any other reason other than I don't want to. So I've actually been thinking about selling off some of my larger pieces of furniture. just to make some room. It's less to dust. It's less to take care of. And I won't have to do it when I'm too old to do it, because I'm heading towards that age group where things are getting more difficult and they're not going to get any easier. So I have an armoire, a TV armoire in the living room that I'm thinking about selling, because the things that are in there I really don't need. And it holds my TV, but I can only put a certain size TV in there. And I would really like to get a little bit bigger TV, not one of these big, huge things that, you feel like you're in the cinema. But my TV is just a small 32-inch TV, and it's older, and it gives me problems once in a while. So sooner or later, I'm going to have to get a new TV. And they're very reasonable now, reasonably priced. So I would get a little bit larger TV. I wouldn't have to sit right in front of the TV in order to watch it. I could watch it a little bit further into the room. So just different things like that. But I am starting to seriously think about selling off some of my bigger pieces of furniture that I no longer use or need. So I've been working my way through a huge stash of tea that I've accumulated over the years, and there's certain teas now that I like, that I buy and I do stock. But there's other teas that I've bought, and I just didn't like them that much, or I wasn't that crazy about them. At least not enough to buy more of. So I'm trying to work my way through that stash. Same thing with clothes. I'm working my way through my stash of clothes. Now, I don't want a minimalist wardrobe. That's not for me. And I want to keep enough clothes that I can stay warm and comfortable too. But I don't need a lot of the things that I still have in my closet. It's just too much. It's too much to take care of. I don't want to take care of so many things anymore. So as you all know, I've been cooking down my food because I don't need that much food anymore either. Yes, my little dog does bark a lot. I'll have to say she barks a lot. Anyway, the whole point of the conversation is to really look at your age, to look at what you can and can't do, to look at what you want to take care of, what you don't want to take care of, and go by that. So these are some of the things that I think we need to think about as we get older, and maybe take some action too. One of the other things that I have a lot of is, I was starting to say, was food. So I'm trying to get down to one freezer, and I am making progress on that. And I might, down the road, get just a very small 7 cubic foot freezer just for storing things like flour and rice, things like that I don't have room for in this freezer. Or maybe cooking ahead some meals, not a lot, but having a place to store that. I don't know. But I'm not going to do any of that until I see if I can just live with one freezer. Because my whole adult life I've had 2 freezers. So we'll see how that goes. Another thing I have a lot of are craft things. I have a lot of paints. I have a lot of jewelry making materials. Now that I don't want to get rid of because I may pick that up again. The problem with it is right now is the time. And I know we make time for the things that are really important to us. But right now, the most important things to me is getting things organized and getting my house to a point where I'm comfortable taking care of what I have in it. So I'm not getting rid of everything. I'm not doing that. But just looking at things realistically, because like I said, this is the year of reasonable for me, and it's not reasonable for me to have 3 or 4 different sets of dishes when basically it's just me here. My grandson lives in my basement, so he has everything he needs down there. You know, there's a little kitchen and everything down there. So he doesn't need any of those things. Over the years, I have given away a lot of things. When Tom's girls started their own place, I gave them dishes and pots and pans. I gave Tom pots and pans and dishes. So I've gotten rid of a lot of that, but I still have way too much. The problem for me is picking what I like the best, because a lot of what I have I actually do really like, and that's why I hold on to it. But I don't want to continue to do that. So with my grow lights, the ones I got today, those are the ones I'm planning to put on my grow wall. And I would really like to get to a point where in the winter I only need to buy a few frozen veggies and things like that. And I would like to really be able to grow some of my own greens and herbs. I know I'm not going to have a whole garden in here, you know, tomatoes and peppers and things. I'm not going to grow that. But, you know, you can grow some baby kale, you can grow some baby spinach, some lettuces. There's lots of different lettuces. So that's sort of my goal, and it's going to be an experiment for me because I don't know if it'll work. It might work, it might not work. We'll see. So anyway, all right, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. How about you guys? What stage of life are you in? And are you feeling the same way I'm feeling? Or not so much? I don't know. Leave me a comment below and let me know what's going on in your life. All right, I'll be back in a little while with dinner. I think I'm just going to have leftover pizza and potato salad, and I still have some greens. So we'll take a look in a little bit and see what's in there. Dinner, day 108. I already know what I'm having, but I'll show you. Okay, got a couple leftovers here, and I made myself a little salad. I still have 1 head of romaine. I have some peppers, so I put those in my salad. Just a small one. So I'm going to have that. And this is the potato salad I made yesterday. There's a little bit of that left. So I'm going to have that. And then I'm going to have the pizza I made for brunch. So, clearing out the fridge and eating what I have. I think I'll put some pepitas in my salad. And I'll have some of this Italian dressing because that needs to be eaten up. And that'll go well with pizza. So I replenished my eggs with the eggs I had in the basement. I also still had some apples and oranges that I brought up. So, and in the produce drawer, I still have a cucumber that I bought at Drug Mart, celery, some peppers, and this is what I have left of the romaine now, so that needs to be eaten all within the next 2 or 3 days. All right, I will meet you at the stove. I heated up my pizza in the frying pan because I wanted to crisp up the bottom of it a little bit. There it is. And this is my salad. The egg was from yesterday from the potato salad. And this little bit of potato salad. So here it is, dinner day 108. All right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I'm going to go enjoy my dinner. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you. And I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.